Imagine a land where gods once walked among mortals, where Zeus ruled the skies from Mount Olympus, Athena gifted wisdom to Athens, and Poseidon's trident carved the coastlines. This is Greece, a cradle of civilization, a mosaic of 6,000 islands, and a nation where history isn't just studied, it's lived. Here, democracy was born. In 508 BCE, theatre began, with tragedies performed for Dionysus and 18 UNESCO sites. Guard secrets older than time. Did you know Greece has more archaeological museums than any country on Earth? Or that 40% of the world's olive oil flows from its groves, some with trees planted by Romans 2,000 years ago? From the cliffside monasteries of Meteora, built by monks who scaled sandstone pillars with ropes and faith, to the azure waters of Navajo Beach, where a shipwreck rusts in surreal beauty, Greece is a siren call to wanderers. So let's journey beyond postcards and into the soul of a land where myth and reality share the same horizon. Santorini. Born from fire and fury, Santorini is a volcanic masterpiece, a crescent of ash and lava floating in the Aegean. Over 3,600 years ago, a cataclysmic eruption tore the island apart, creating a caldera so vast it could swallow Manhattan. Today, this geological wonder lures travelers with its whitewashed villages, sapphire-domed churches, and sunsets so iconic they've inspired 1,000 postcards. Wander the labyrinth of Oya, where every alleyway curves like a question mark. The villages here aren't just pretty, they're practical. The white walls reflect the scorching sun, and the blue domes honor the Greek flag, a tradition born during the fight for independence. But Santorini's beauty hides a secret. Beneath these postcard-perfect towns lies Akrotiri, a 4,000-year-old city buried by volcanic ash. Dubbed the Minoan Pompeii, its frescoes of leaping dolphins and saffron gatherers survived millennia intact, frozen in time. The island's volcanic soul is everywhere. Sail into the heart of the caldera, where thermal springs stain the sea gold, and dive into waters warmed by the Earth's fiery core. Back on land, taste Santorini's liquid gold, Assyrtiko wine, grown in basket-shaped vines that hug the ground to survive fierce cycladic winds. Pair it with tomato keftades, made from crops nourished by volcanic soil, so rich, locals joke, we plant in ash and harvest in paradise. But Santorini isn't just white and blue. Venture to Kokini Paralia, where volcanic cliffs bleed crimson into the sea, or hike the Skaros Rock at dawn for a view that even the gods would envy. As night falls, the island transforms. Lanterns flicker, church bells chime, and the cliffs hum with the laughter of those who found their slice of heaven on earth. As the Greeks say, the sun of Santorini lights the soul. Santorini is more than an island, it's a promise, a reminder that even after chaos, beauty remains, that from fire and ash, paradise can rise, and that sometimes the most breathtaking views come from standing on the edge of the world. Meteora. Rising like ancient sentinels from the plains of Thessaly, Meteora, suspended in the air, is where humanity's devotion defied gravity. These colossal sandstone pillars, forged over 60 million years, became the stage for one of history's most daring spiritual quests. By the 14th century, hermit monks climbed these 1,000-foot rocks with ropes and ladders, carving cells into the cliffs and building 24 monasteries, where they believed the heavens would hear their prayers. Today, only the 6 remain, clinging to the peaks as if held by the hand of God. the oldest and grandest of these sky-high sanctuaries. Its walls are a canvas of Byzantine art, vivid frescoes of martyrs and miracles, untouched for centuries. Monks here lived in isolation, their only lifeline a creaking pulley system still used today. But Meteora's secrets go deeper. During World War II, these monasteries hid Greece's priceless art and relics from Nazi looters in hidden caves, a divine heist that saved a nation's heritage. For modern travelers, Meteora is both a hike and a pilgrimage. Follow trails once walked by hermits, where every turn reveals a new marvel. A monastery silhouetted against the sky, a valley bursting with wild orchids, or the silence of a chapel carved into rock. As the sun sets, painting the pillars in amber, you'll understand why UNESCO called this a masterpiece of human genius. Here, faith didn't just move mountains, it built on them. Meteora is more than a place. It's a testament to what happens when mortal hands dare to touch the divine, where every stone whispers, "Climb higher, look closer, believe deeper." Athens, the city where democracy took its first breath, where marble columns still echo with the footsteps of philosophers, and where the past isn't just remembered, it's alive. Named after Athena, goddess of wisdom, this sprawling metropolis is a living tapestry of 3,400 years of history, crowned by the iconic Acropolis that watches over its streets like a timeless sentinel. Climb the sacred hill of the Acropolis, and you'll stand before the Parthenon, a temple so perfect its architects tweaked its lines to look straight to the human eye. Built in 438 BCE, its marble has weathered wars, empires, and even a gunpowder explosion in 1687. But peer closer, the Erechtheions Caryatids, stone maidens balancing the roof on their heads, still defy gravity and time itself. Yet Athens isn't just a relic. Beneath the shadow of ancient ruins, the Aplaka district buzzes with life. Cobblestone alleys lead to tavernas where smoky souvlaki sizzles on grills, and old men debate politics over clinking glasses of ouzo. Nearby, the ancient agora, once the stage for Socrates and Plato's debates, is now a haven for stray cats napping atop fallen columns. For a glimpse of the city's soul, visit the Acropolis Museum, where glass floors reveal excavated neighborhoods beneath your feet, or lose yourself in Monastiraki's flea market, a riot of color where you can haggle for Byzantine coins, retro vinyl, and olives older than some nations. Fun fact, Athens has 148 theatrical stages, more than any city on Earth, a nod to its birthplace of tragedy and comedy. But Athens' true magic lies in its contrasts. Graffiti murals of ancient gods adorn concrete walls in Exarchia, the rebellious heart of the city. The Temple of Hephaestus, the best-preserved ancient Greek temple, shares the skyline with neon-lit bars in Gazi, and atop Lycabettus Hill, where Athenians once worshipped wolves, you'll now find couples stealing kisses as the city lights flicker to life below. As the sun sets, join the nightly pilgrimage to the Panathinaikos Stadium, a gleaming white marble arena built for the first modern Olympics in 1896. Then, let the smell of freshly baked koulouri, sesame-crusted bread rings, guide you back to the chaos of Ermou Street. Athens doesn't just tell its story, it lets you walk through it, one crumbling column and steaming cup of Greek coffee at a time. In this city, the gods may have walked, but mortals built a legacy that still shapes the world. As the Greeks say, Athens is eternity in the shadow of the Acropolis. Mykonos, the modern island of the winds, where sugar cube villages tumble into turquoise bays and luxury yachts bob beside fishing boats, a place where ancient myths collide with modern hedonism, and every sunset feels like a celebration. But beyond the jet-set parties and Instagram fame, Mykonos guards secrets as old as the gods themselves. Stroll the whitewashed labyrinth of Chora, the island's capital, where cobalt-domed chapels and bougainvillea-draped alleyways defy logic. Here, the Paraportiani Church, a 15th-century marvel of melted stone, leans like a sandcastle, its curves designed to confuse evil spirits. And yes, those iconic Myconian windmills? They're not just for postcards. Built by Venetians in the 16th century, they ground flour for sailors, harnessing the Meltemi winds that still whip the island into a frenzy. But Mykonos' true magic lies offshore. A short boat ride away lies Delos, the UNESCO-protected birthplace of Apollo and Artemis. This uninhabited isle was once the Mediterranean's busiest port, its marble ruins whispering tales of merchants, slaves, and temples dripping in gold. Today, it's a ghost town of fallen columns and mosaics, where even the breeze feels sacred. Back on Mykonos, the rhythm shifts. By day, Ilia Beach glitters with sun-soaked revelers sipping Freddo cappuccinos, while Panormos Bay lures solitude seekers to its pebbled shores. By night, the island transforms. Little Venice pulses with DJs and champagne, its 18th-century sea captain mansions, now bars where the Aegean sprays dancers with salt. Yet dawn reveals another Mykonos. Fishermen mending nets in Agios Ioannis, farmers selling honey-soaked Kopanisti cheese, and 365 chapels, one for every day of the year, where locals light candles for miracles. For all its glitz, Mykonos remains rooted in tradition. The Meteora dance still kicks up dust at village festivals, and widows in black lace chant Byzantine hymns at Panagia Paraportiani. Even the pelicans, the island's unofficial mascots, parade like royalty, descendants of a wounded bird adopted by fishermen in the 1950s. Mykonos is a paradox, a jet-set playground built on ancient stones, a party island with a poet's soul. As the Greeks say, the wind blows, Mykonos dances. And in its dance, you'll find a truth, that even paradise has layers if you know where to look. Corfu, the one emerald isle of Greece, where Venetian palazzos glow in apricot light, cypress trees pierce azure skies, and the scent of kumquat and jasmine hangs heavy in the air. A crossroads of empires and cultures, this Ionian jewel wears its history like a silk glove, elegant, layered, and full of secrets. Step into Corfu town, a UNESCO World Heritage Site, where cobblestones echo with footsteps of crusaders, Venetians, and French aristocrats. The Liston, its arcaded promenade modeled after Paris' Rue de Rivoli, buzzes with locals sipping frappes under candy-striped awnings. But look closer. Hidden in alleyways are 16th-century churches, with vaulted ceilings, their walls scarred by Ottoman cannonballs and adorned with icons saved from pirate raids. Rising above it all is the Old Fortress, a stone titan guarding the harbor. Built by Venetians in the 15th century, its labyrinthine tunnels once held prisoners of war. Today, climbers scale its ramparts for views of Vidos Island, where a Russian admiral's heart is buried under a lone cypress. Legend says he loved Corfu so deeply, his final wish was to rest here, forever gazing at the island he called paradise. Venture inland to a Chilean palace, where Empress Sisi of Austria sought solace after tragedy. Her neoclassical villa, crowned by a statue of Achilles, overlooks olive groves rolling to the sea. Cece's obsession with Greek myth bled into every fresco and garden path, a monument to beauty and melancholy. Nearby, Ponte Konisi, Mouse Island, floats in the lagoon, its 12th century chapel said to be a ship turned to stone by Poseidon's wrath. But Corfu's soul lives in its villages. In Paleokastritsa, where sapphire coves hide sea caves, once sheltering Odysseus, fishermen grill bordetto, spicy fish stew, on wooden boats. In Pelekaspursi, honeymakers harvest time nectar from hillsides where the Durrell family once wandered, immortalizing the island's wild heart in prose. And in Kavos, where pine forests meet turquoise waters, locals swear the ghost of a Venetian countess still dances under the moon. To taste Corfu is to taste history. Sip golden kumquat liqueur, a citrus brought by British botanists, or savor sofrito, veal bathed in garlic and vinegar, a recipe from Venetian sailors. For dessert, try mandolato, a honey nut brittle crafted since the 14th century. Every bite whispers of conquests, trade routes, and resilience. Corfu is a chameleon, Greek yet global, timeless yet ever-changing. As the locals say, time in Corfu is painted. And in its brushstrokes, you'll find a paradise shaped by empires, poets, and the eternal Ionian breeze. Rhodes, the island of the sun, where medieval knights once clashed with Ottoman sultans, where a colossal bronze titan straddled the harbor, and where history's echoes reverberate through cobblestone streets. This Dodecanese gem, kissed by the Aegean and shaped by empires, is a living museum where every stone tells a tale. Step into Rhodes Old Town, a UNESCO World Heritage Site and Europe's oldest inhabited medieval city. Behind its 4-kilometer walls, Gothic arches, Byzantine churches, and Ottoman minarets collide in a labyrinth of time. Walk the Street of the Knights, where crusaders in flowing cloaks once marched to the palace of the Grand Master, a fortress so mighty it withstood earthquakes and sieges. Today, its mosaic-floored halls whisper of a time when Rhodes was the last Christian bastion in the East. But long before knights, Rhodes was home to one of the 7 wonders of the ancient world, the Colossus of Rhodes. This 110-foot bronze statue of Helios, the sun god, towered over Mandrake Harbor until an earthquake toppled it in 226 BCE. Though gone, its legacy lingers. Myth says the fallen Colossus inspired France's Statue of Liberty. Now, 2 bronze deer guard the harbor, standing sentinel where the giant once shone. Venture beyond the walls to Lindos, a postcard village of sugar cube houses cascading to a turquoise bay. Crowning its cliff is the Acropolis of Lindos, where a temple to Athena gazes over a mosaic of blue and white. Below, donkeys trot through alleyways painted with Kathara Vrisi, clean springs, symbols believed to ward off evil. Here, even the wind carries stories of pirates, of St. Paul's shipwreck, and of a Hellenistic naval captain who carved a warship into the rock to honor Poseidon. Rhodes' soul lies in its contrasts, in Calathea Springs. Art Deco columns frame thermal baths once adored by Italian aristocrats. In Simius, a short boat ride away, neoclassical mansions blush in shades of ochre and peach, their reflections dancing in the harbor. And in the Valley of the Butterflies, thousands of Jersey tiger moths flock to amber streams each summer, painting the forest in living confetti. To taste Rhodes is to taste the Mediterranean's melting pot. Sip Suma, a fiery fig liquor brewed in mountain villages, or savor pita, chickpea fritters spiced with cumin, a recipe passed down from Jewish settlers. For dessert, bite into melakuni, a sesame honey bar served at weddings since the days of knights. Every flavor is a thread in the island's tapestry: Greek, Turkish, Italian, and utterly Rhodian. As dusk falls, climb to Monte Smith and watch the sun sink behind the ruins of ancient Rhodes. Below, the old town's lanterns flicker to life, and the Aegean hums with fishing boats and ferries. Rhodes is more than an island. It's a chronicle of resilience, of crusaders and sultans, earthquakes and rebirth. As the locals say, Rhodes is first touched by the sun and last to bid it farewell. And in its golden light, you'll find a land where legends never die. Zakynthos. Zakynthos, the pudding flower of the Levant, where cliffs dive into waters so blue they defy logic and sea turtles glide past shipwrecks. This Ionian gem is a postcard come to life, from its iconic Navaggio beach to its secret underwater caves. Navaggio's rusted smuggler ship, stranded on ivory sand in 1980, is framed by limestone giants. But Zakynthos isn't just one beach. Dive into the pound blue caves, where sunlight paints the sea sapphire, or kayak to Akeri Caves, a labyrinth carved by waves and time. This island guards life older than myths. Lagana's Bay. Shelters. Caretta. Loggerhead turtles, nesting here for millennia. Spot their tracks at dawn or join a conservation crew. These ancient mariners outlived empires. Inland, Ochali village, spills over hills draped in cypress and olive groves. Taste mandallato, a honey nut brittle from Venetian times, or sip Rostoc's wine at a family vineyard. At sunset, join locals at Campi Cliff to watch the sun melt into the Ionian, a ritual as old as Homer's Odes. Zakynthos thrills and soothes in equal measure. As the Greeks say, Zakynthos keeps its heart in the sea, and beneath those waves, paradise pulses on. Thessaloniki, Greece's second city, where Byzantine emperors, Ottoman sultans, and Jewish traders left their mark on a skyline kissed by the Thermaic Gulf. A city of fiery sunsets, anarchist graffiti, and aromas of freshly baked koulouri that's been fueling philosophers and rebels for 2,300 years start at the White Tower. The city's limestone sentinel. Built by Ottomans in the 15th century, it once guarded a prison. Now it watches over a promenade buzzing with skateboarders and frappe sippers. Nearby, the Rotunda, a Roman temple turned church turned mosque, wears its layers like a time traveler. Pagan mosaics, Christian frescoes, and Islamic calligraphy side by side. Dive into Latadika district, where cobblestones lead to Rebetiko clubs humming with the soulful wail of the bouzouki. This was once a warehouse for olive oil traders. Now, it's where students clink ouzo glasses over soutsukakia, spiced meatballs, and chefs reinvent moussaka with truffle oil. Don't miss the Modiano Market, a century-old food hall where butchers banter in Ladino, a relic of Thessaloniki's Sephardic Jewish past. Climb to the upper town. Anopoli, a labyrinth of pastel houses and Byzantine walls untouched by the 1917 fire that razed the city. Here, laundry flutters between Ottoman-era timber balconies, and Vlatadon Monastery offers panoramic views stretching to Mount Olympus. Fun fact, Thessaloniki has 15 UNESCO-listed Byzantine monuments, more than any city on Earth. End your day at Aristoteles Square, where the Aegean breeze mingles with the chatter of street poets and protesters. As the sun dips, Join locals for a gyros wrapped in paper and let the city's motto ring true. Thessaloniki never ends. Because here, every corner hides a story, and every story begs to be savored. Paros, the Cyclades' best-kept secret, where sugar cube villages glow under Aegean sun and beaches blush in shades of turquoise and gold. Forget the crowds. This is Greece as it once was, windswept, wild, and whispering tales of marble empires. Start in Paros, the island's whitewashed capital, where cobalt-domed churches and bougainvillea alleys lead to the Church of Zakynthos Piliani. Built in the 4th century, this church of 100 doors hides a secret. Only 99 have ever been found. Legend says the last door will unlock when Constantinople is Greek again. Head north to Nusa, a fishing village turned chic harbor. By day, octopus dry on lines above turquoise boats. By night, Michelin-starred chefs reinvent guna, sun-dried mackerel, under strings of lanterns. Don't miss the Mauritius winery. Sip a Certico in a vineyard first planted by crusaders, then toast to the Meltemi winds that sculpted these hills. Paros's soul lies inland. Drive to Lefkis, a village of stone arches and Byzantine trails, where old women still weave wool on looms. Nearby, the marble quarries once supplied stone for the Venus de Milo and Napoleon's tomb. Touch the glittering veins. This is the island's heartbeat, mined since 3000 BCE. For adventure, hike the Byzantine road to golden Olympia beach, where granite boulders rise like ancient sculptures, or sail to Paros, a tiny neighbor with a cave where pirates hid loot and Hollywood A-listers hide today. As locals say, Paros wears its sun in the sparkle of the sea. And in that sparkle, you'll find a Greece untouched by time. Chania, Crete's crowning jewel, where Venetian harbors glow in honeyed light, Ottoman mosques echo with bouzouki tunes, and the scent of orange blossoms and salt hangs thick in the air. A city where time melts like honey, and every cobblestone hides a tale of pirates, emperors, and rebels. At its heart lies the old Venetian harbor, a crescent of pastel mansions and fishing boats bobbing under the Egyptian lighthouse, one of the world's oldest. Built in the 16th century, its stone spine guided ships laden with silk and spices until Ottoman cannons left scars still visible today. Climb to Furka Fortress for sunset, where the horizon blurs into the Aegean, and locals swear you can still hear the whispers of imprisoned revolutionaries. Lose yourself in the old town's labyrinth. Alleyways strung with laundry, secret gardens bursting with jasmine, and the Küçük Hasan Pasha Mosque, its minaret towering over artisan workshops. Don't miss the Bat Maritime Museum, where model ships and Nazi invasion maps reveal Crete's defiant spirit. Fun fact, beneath your feet lies ancient Kydonia, a Minoan city older than the Parthenon, still being unearthed. For a taste of Chania, dive into the Agora Market, a 1913 marvel of stained glass and ironwork. Vendors hawk wheels of graviera, cheese, barrels of olives cured in time, and dacos, rusk topped with tomato and barley from Bronze Age recipes. Sip raki at a harborfront cafeneo, as fishermen mend nets and old men debate politics over backgammon. But Chania's magic spills beyond the city. Drive west to Spalos Lagoon, where turquoise waters lick pink sand, or hike the Samaria Gorge, a 16-kilometer slash through mountains where wild goats outnumber hikers. At Elafonisi Beach, cross ankle-deep seas to a rose-tinted islet. Locals say It's dyed by the blood of ancient warriors. As night falls, follow the glow of lanterns to Splancia Square, where tavernas serve stifado, rabbit stew, under plane trees planted by Ottomans. Chania doesn't just live in history, it dances in the present. As the Cretans say, Chania is the heart of Crete. And in its heartbeat, you'll find a world where every sunset feels like a first. Kos, Hippocrates' playground, where ancient ruins rub shoulders with sun-kissed beaches and cypress trees whisper tales of medicine's birth. This Dodecanese gem kissed by Turkish shores is a crossroads of civilizations, crusaders, and cures. Start at the Asclepion, a 4th century BCE healing temple where Hippocrates taught the world to treat patients, not diseases. Walk its terraced ruins, surgical tools carved into stone, sacred springs, and a theater where music soothed the sick. Today, the Tree of Hippocrates, a 500-year-old plane tree, shades visitors under branches said to sprouted from the original where the father of medicine once lectured. Kos Town is a living mosaic, pedaled past Ottoman mosques with pink minarets, Crusader castles crumbling into the sea, and Italian villas left by Mussolini's architects. Don't miss Narazzia Fortress. Its walls built by Knights of St. John using stones from Mausolus's tomb, one of the 7 wonders, lost but not forgotten. For pure Aegean bliss, ride a bike. Kos is Greece's cycling capital, to Tigaki Beach, where windsurfers slice through turquoise waves, or sail to Tomastichari, a fishing village where tavernas serve pitaridia, homemade pasta, and octopus grilled over driftwood. Inland, Zia village clings to Mount Dikeos, its sunsets so fiery, locals swear Apollo stops here to recharge. Kos' secret, thermal springs, bubbling offshore at Agiou Theologu. Wade into warm, sulfur-rich waters once praised by Herodotus, then feast on Katimeria, honey-drizzled cheese pies under a star-flooded sky. As the islanders say, Kos is a doctor without medicine. And in its salty air and sun-bleached stones, you'll find a cure for the soul. Nafplio, Greece's first capital, where Venetian fortresses crown hills of Cyprus, Ottoman mosques hum with bouzouki tunes, and the scent of orange blossoms dances with sea salt. A town where history isn't just preserved, it's perfumed. Start at the Palamidi Fortress. Its 999 steps carved into a cliff like a stone ladder to the sky. Built by Venetians in 1714, this bastion fell to Ottomans in a single day, but its views of the Argolic Gulf never surrendered. Below, Bortzi Castle floats in the harbor like a stone swan, once a prison for condemned poets. Legend says its walls still whisper their verses at midnight. Stroll the old town's car-free alleys, where Venetian mansions blush in ochre and crimson, their balconies dripping with jasmine. Don't miss Syntagma Square, a stage of neoclassical cafes, Turkish fountains, and the Archaeological Museum, where Mycenaean gold shares space with rebel flags from 1821. Fun fact, Greece's first parliament met here in a former mosque. For a taste of Nafplio, bite into amygdalota, rosewater-kissed almond cookies, or gourounopoulou, suckling pig, slow roasted with oregano. Sip local Agiogitico wine. At a harbor taverna, as fishermen mend nets and cats nap on cannonballs. Then climb to Nafplia, the ancient acropolis where Byzantine, Frankish, and Venetian stones collide. Layers of empires under your feet. Venture beyond town to Epidaurus, where ancient Greeks flocked to heal at Asclepius's sanctuary, or to Mycenae, where Agamemnon's golden mask still guards his tomb. But as twilight paints the Arvanitia promenade gold, you'll understand why locals say Nafplio steals hearts, and yours, consider it borrowed. Olympia, where gods and mortals raced for glory, where olive wreaths crowned legends, and where the world's greatest athletic tradition began. Nestled in the Peloponnese, this sacred valley isn't just ruins, it's the bold birthplace of the Olympic Games, where for 1,000 years war paused and humanity's finest competed in naked honor. Walk through the Arch of Nero, where emperors once entered, and step into the ancient stadium. Imagine 45,000 roaring Greeks as sprinters, stripped of armor, pounded the 192-meter track. The rules? Cheat, and your face was carved into a bronze Zanes statue, funded by your fines. The prize? A simple olive wreath, an immortality. At the Temple of Zeus, one of the seven wonders once stood, a 40-foot ivory and gold statue of the thunder god, his eyes judging all. Today, only fallen columns remain, but nearby, the Hermes of Praxiteles still smirks in marble perfection, his infant Dionysus eternally cradled. Fun fact, women were banned from competing or even watching, except for the priestess of Demeter, who got the best seat in the house. Don't miss the Philippeion, a circular shrine to Alexander the Great's ego, or the Palaestra, where wrestlers coated themselves in oil and dust to grip slippery rivals. Then sneak into the workshop of Phidias, the artist behind Zeus's statue, where tools and a cup inscribed, "I belong to Phidias," were found, frozen in time. Every 2 years, Olympia reclaims its flame. At a Hera's temple, actresses in ancient robes use parabolic mirrors to light the she Olympic torch. A ritual born in 1936, but rooted in 776 BCE. As the flame journeys to host cities, remember, this is where it all began, where athletes swore oaths to Zeus, where losers slunk home in shame, and where victory wasn't just personal, it was divine. From the gods' playgrounds to the whispers of the Aegean, Greece isn't just a destination, it's a feeling, a reminder that adventure lives in cobblestone alleys, ancient stones, and the warmth of a stranger's yassou. But our journey doesn't end here. The world is vast, and its wonders are endless. So hit subscribe, Nasios, to keep exploring with us. Where should we go next? The lavender fields of Provence, the jungles of Costa Rica, or perhaps your favorite hidden gem? Let us know in the comments. Until next time, keep wondering, and remember, the traveler sees what they see, the wanderer sees what they are. Stay curious,